All right, so Naughty Dog has announced that The Last of Us Part 2 is getting a remaster for the PS5. Personally, I'm excited. For those of us who already own the game, it's only a $10 payment, and you get the upgrade with all the different modes and lost levels and all that good stuff. And so I made a video kind of explaining my excitement for it, and quickly realized in the comments that people are losing their minds. And people are losing their minds. Well, there's always, I just want to be honest. There's always going to be those people who are like, I hate The Last of Us 2, which is totally fine. It's your opinion. I disagree. To be honest, the vast majority of people disagree with your hate for that game. That's kind of a whole different thing. But then there's this interesting chunk of people who are really wound up about the remaster announcement because it has them worried. It has them, rightfully so, worried about Naughty Dog and what they're doing, what they're up to, and are they just going to keep remastering the same games over and over and over again? Are we ever going to get anything new? And I kind of wanted to address that. I wanted to encourage you and tell you, just chill. It's okay. You can calm down and go over some of the reasons why you don't need to be worried about Naughty Dog. You don't need to be worried about The Last of Us, and dive into it with you guys. So with that, let's dive into this topic and why you don't need to be stressed out about the future of Naughty Dog and The Last of Us. So first of all, and this is the most important thing to understand, these remasters, both Part 1 and now Part 2, are placeholders. That they are essentially things that are being released to tide old fans over until a newer game. They're also things that are being released to help bring new fans into the game. So like it or not, go to the comment sections of Last of Us Part 1 and the Part 2 remaster, and you will find people saying that for the first time ever, they played The Last of Us with the Part 1 update on PS5 because they never played it on PS4 or PS3, and it was a exclusive PS5 game that they released that they picked up because they heard a lot about it, fell in love with the series, and have been waiting for Part 2 to get a remaster. So what Naughty Dog is doing with these remasters is essentially tiding over fans, giving the hardcore fans something they can enjoy while they wait for Naughty Dog to cook their magic, and also giving these new fans an opportunity to play these stories for the first time. And new fans are coming along for the ride for the first time. That it is happening. That I've heard from multiple people that the first time they've picked up these games and played it was on the PS5. And that for the second one, they've been waiting for the PS5 because they want the haptic feedback. They want ray tracing. They want all of the little improvements a PS5 director's cut kind of game comes with. And they're going to get that. And that's why they're releasing the Part 2 update. It's not a grab for money. If it was for money, they wouldn't be offering those of us who already purchased the game just a $10 upgrade, that they'd be charging full price, and we could totally blast them for that because that would be ridiculous. That it's essentially to bring in more fans and to tide us hardcore fans over because the stuff they're working on is taking longer than they anticipated. And so here's my second reason why you don't need to be worried. The Last of Us and Naughty Dog are working on fresh stuff. That Factions is coming. It has been confirmed, and Naughty Dog has broken the silence saying, yes, we're still developing it. We're still working on it. We're hopefully going to be able to show you something soon. I actually highly anticipate that we're going to get a trailer, at least a cinematic trailer, for the game, giving us a glimpse into what it is and what it's about at the Game Awards. I really highly actually anticipate them doing that. They did something similar during the Summer Games Fest for the Part 1 trailer, and I imagine that actually, because they were kind of silent on The Last of Us Day, I think they just weren't fully ready to reveal it. And at the Game Awards, you're going to get a trailer for The Last of Us Factions. That is going to be released, that we're going to get a release date, and people are going to be able to just chill out a little bit. But we can take a breath, because for a while we didn't know if they were still developing this game and if it just died in the water. Apparently that is not the case. Apparently they're still working on it. Apparently it's just taking a long time. That they really want to give us a multiplayer experience that's really well done and something that's unique. And to be honest, Naughty Dog is one of those companies where I'm like, let them cook. Give them time, because when they have the ability to cook something, that they make a delicious meal, and whatever Factions is, it's going to be incredible, and it's going to be something that was worth the wait. And then the third reason that people just need to take a breath, because I've seen this a lot, is that people are worried that they're not working on The Last of Us Part 3. I can assure you that since The Last of Us Part 2 was released, that they have been working on Part 3. That Part 2 was being worked on for 7 years, and for the majority of these years, we had no idea they were doing it. And the same thing is happening now. And Naughty Dog makes these crazy immersive worlds that just take a long time, and that they want to have something that they can confidently present to us that isn't too long of a wait time. And so I imagine that they're going to focus on the factions first. And once that's been out for a little bit, then we're going to get an announcement for Part 3 officially. But leakers have already said, guys, they're working on Part 3. It's already being worked on. You don't need to worry about it. And also, alongside that, they're working on new IPs. That they're actually inventing new games with new characters, that with the Uncharted series now kind of put to rest for now, that they are working on new things that aren't just The Last of Us, and people just need to relax. They just need to chill. New games are coming. It's not just remasters, and there's good reasons why they're putting out those remasters, that these things are in the works. But there's still a fourth reason that I really think people need to keep in mind, and that people just clearly aren't fully understanding how these games are developed. And so that fourth reason is that these games are being developed by different little studios that Naughty Dog is overseeing. That both the Part 1 and the Part 2 remake are being made not by the main group of Naughty Dog employees. That those employees are actually hard at work on Factions 2 and then on also The Last of Us Part 3. That they actually aren't taking more time out of their main hardcore efforts to do this. It's kind of like how Call of Duty has other developers working on Call of Duties that Call of Duty oversees. That's what's happening with these Naughty Dog remasters, that I've seen a lot of people being like, I can't believe they're wasting time and money by investing in these remasters when they should be investing in new games. And the thing is, it's like, guys, the core Naughty Dog team is not working on these remasters. They didn't work on Part 1, and they aren't working on the Part 2 one. That is something that they've leased out to different companies that are working on them, that's overseen by Naughty Dog for quality control. But that team, all they have to do is upgrade a game that already exists. That they aren't making something from scratch. It's very different than when you make a game from scratch. That remastering something is a lot easier, a lot harder to mess up, and is something that is just being overseen by Naughty Dog, and it's being worked on by a completely different team. And that another team, the core team, is working on that Factions and working on Part 3. That those are even two teams in themselves. That they have a different team working on Factions because it's a whole different kind of landscape than what Naughty Dog is used to. They have a multiplayer team essentially working on Factions, and then they have their core, normal, hardcore, like big Naughty Dog team working on Part 3. And so if you're stressed out about Naughty Dog, like doing too many things, or because they're doing these remasters, they're not focused on new games, that's just not the case. They're doing all these things at the same time because they have multiple different teams. They're a huge company now who can afford to have multiple different teams working on multiple different things at the same time while keeping the quality high. And so we don't need to be freaking out. We don't need to be stressed. We don't need to be wondering, what is Neil thinking? That all of these things are being worked on, and us as Last of Us fans can just breathe easy, knowing that we're getting a lot of content very, very soon. But with that being said, I want to know what you guys think. So head down to the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts. Did this video help put your mind at ease? Are you still super worried? Are you someone who just is like stressed out about the future? Or are you someone like me who's understood all this and been perfectly content? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that junk. And I will see you guys in the next one.